Hello, I'm Katie O'Regan. I'm the director of the Spring Grove International Film Festival. I'm really excited to be here today with a really cool crew. Look at this. We have these amazing people coming all the way from Dublin, Ireland. Go Dublin, Ireland. So exciting. we have a beautiful short film that was chosen for our upcoming film festival. I was so excited about this short piece of magic that I wanted to interview the crew before the festival, and in honor of your work. Sometimes a short film is too short and sometimes it's too long, but this one is just perfect, and it's very short, but it told the story in the time it needed to. So I'm going to have the director introduce the film, and then they're going to all introduce themselves, and then we're going to chat. Okay, Anna, tell us all about your film.
Hi, thank you. Thank you for having us. I'm Anna Czarska, and I'm the producer and director of Growing Charlotte, which is about an unemployed widower who is trying to connect to his daughter when she asks for a new gift. And we have with us our stars and our cinematographer here.
Beautiful. Yes. And Connor.
Hi, my name's Connor Hackett. I'm based in Dublin, in Ireland, and I came to the project because I had actually auditioned for Anna for another project. Maybe 2 years ago, Anna?
Yes, for the dining room. I remember.
That's the one, and I didn't get it.
Brilliant, you were brilliant.
Which is fine. So we've got over that. No, they cast great. It was a great cast, great selection for the dining room. And this just came up on, I think it was via Facebook page, and I just went, oh, I kind of want to work with these people because I'd seen what they'd produced before. And so I just auditioned, and of course, as we're all doing these days, it's all auditions are by self-tape or by Zoom. And so it was the first job I booked during the pandemic. So as soon as the restrictions lifted for a little while at the end of last summer, we got together and filmed. So it's been a lovely experience.
Connor, you did a remarkable job of acting in the film.
Oh, thank you.
Connor plays the father in the film, and Elise plays his daughter, and it's a very moving performance by both of you, I must say. So
they did an excellent job.
Don't you say? Yeah, completely. Yes, definitely. James, you're the cinematographer. I thought the cinematography was beautiful.
Thank you.
It's like, what is it? It's a short film. It's the shortest film so far in the festival. I think it was like 6.5 minutes or something, 7 minutes.
Yeah.
It's filmed like a feature film. The lighting's perfect in it. And sometimes shorter is better, right? So
absolutely, yeah. Especially for shooting. Shorter is better.
James.
It was so I'm James Van de Bell. Hello, I'm based in Dublin and sometimes in Kildare, although at the moment with lockdown just Kildare. It was really, really interesting shooting it. We actually got it done very, very fast, because even though it came down to 6 minutes in the end based on the script, it could have potentially taken a lot more time depending on what we chose to shot or to shoot. But what was happening was light was on our side, which is almost never happens in Ireland. You're never really going to get that on your side unless you want to shoot everything in a pallid, grey, overcast way, which is almost all Irish climate. The likelihood that you're going to have sun come down and give you that kind of high dynamic range flare look is really rare. So we actually just got incredibly lucky. And what we had was a rainy day that turned into a sunny day, and then we caught it in that window of sun and then turned back to rain. And what we thought was going to happen was we thought it would be a situation of either we're going to need lots of black flags to block either too much light or have other lights to support us because we'd have almost no light. And instead what we got was just the perfect middle ground. I mean, everything came together really, really nicely. I mean, mostly down to brilliant actors and a great production and working with Anna, who's just really, really good at keeping everything very tight.
Very lucky with the weather because it worked for the story. Because if you see, we weren't expecting it to work out that way, but it started with the rain and we had the very difficult situation. And then in the end, it came with the light and we had this nice little resolution. So I felt like that actually worked really well, the weather definitely.
Yeah, it played into our hands in a way that we couldn't have even planned for that. And you can't really, usually people chase light. That's a famous thing you say but in Ireland, you really are chasing light. all the time. We don't have a good golden hour here. It's very inconsistent. So yeah, we just got really lucky, and it's good fun. Yeah, I enjoyed shooting it very much. So yeah.
Lucky, and I think when you tell a good story, luck is on your side. It has a very spiritual bent to it. You know, it's deeply moving piece of, you know, 6.5 minutes. And so when you're talking, it's so nice to see that, I have to tell you all, because just in witnessing all the independent films that get submitted, and I watch all of them thoroughly, and there's a lot of very, very unbelievably talented people that, you know, so too many to count, right? But there's also, unfortunately, too many depressing, dark things to watch, right? I see a lot of it, and I don't love that type of thing. I don't. As an artist, I can appreciate all types of things, even films that I don't personally like. But it's nice to see something that makes you feel good and then moves you, right? It's not,
Yeah.
It's how it makes you feel. It's so important, because we're human beings. Really, we want to feel good. That's what we really
You
want.
know, it's so funny because this project was brought to me very shortly after I had the same situation happen with my son. So, so it just really
Tell us
felt
about
meant
that
to be.
situation. Anna, tell us about the situation. Tell us, because the audience hasn't seen the film. So
Yeah, so in the film, Elise's character Charlotte, she's upset because of being picked on by having a baby's bike, a younger bike, and all of her friends have gotten these, you know, gorgeous new bikes for older girls, and she hasn't. And she's, you know, she's coming to her dad, who's having a very tough time, and she's like, you know, please, can you get me this bike? You know, and it was kind of the same thing that happened to me with my son, because we were having a little bit of a tough time, and he'd had his bike for years and years, and all of his friends were getting like these new nice, you know, trick bikes basically, and he was like, Mom, I've had my bike for years, you know, why can't we get one? And I was like, it's not that simple, these are expensive items, you know, I can't just afford to just get you a bike like that. But we ended up, after a few months, we did find him a really nice bike on, was it adverts, I think it was, and we just jumped on that and we got that immediately. And it was like, here's your bike, honey. So I think it was kind of funny, because a few months after that, I got the call about this project, and I was like, you know what, it's exactly perfect for what happened to me. So yeah, and Elise did a brilliant job. She really delivered it well. There were some gorgeous moments you can see in the film with her interaction with Connor, and they both just, you know, they had really good chemistry, and it worked really well.
Yeah. Elise, yes, you were wonderful. Thank you, Anna, for sharing that story. That makes it even better for me to watch. That's a great story. So Elise, tell us about your experience in doing the film.
Well, it was really fun. I really enjoyed filming, and I love the script as well, because I feel like it's something that almost every kid can relate to, having something and then the other kids in your class have something else, and they kind of make fun of you for it, and they just kind of have the better stuff that you kind of want, and you just don't fit in. But it's a good plot, and I really enjoyed it.
Aren't you something? How old are you, dear?
I just turned 12.
You just turned 12. How's 12? Is 12 better than 11?
It's kind of the same. I mean, yeah, it's all right. Doing good.
So you are in 6th grade?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, wonderful. And do you plan on continuing to be an actress?
Yes, definitely.
Oh, good. I would highly recommend that you continue to be an actress. That would be a wonderful thing. You know when you watch movies and you find that people are believable, some people are believable and some people aren't believable. You can be. I mean, there's some actors that are famous actors that I still don't believe them quite. But you know, they're famous and it's all good. But and Connor has total believability too. It's just like, I just love that. You could play any part. Connor, you could probably play a million parts. Have you been acting your whole life, Connor?
Well, actually, can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can. No, it's just my video is frozen, but that's fine.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I've kind of been involved in creative industries for a long time, and music, and I'm also involved in publishing, but I kind of came to acting quite late. I didn't start training until I was in my 40s. So
Really?
yeah, so it's kind of, I didn't lick it off the street. I mean, my dad had done a lot of drama and was a musician as well. So there's a bit of a family history, but it's just when I eventually came to it, it was a bit of a light bulb moment, and I'm kind of compelled to do it now. I just really, really love it. So yeah, it's been a great trip, and I just continue training all the time. It's difficult at the moment, but yeah, that's it. But this was such a lovely piece to come to, because I think that within a very, very short period of time, very short space, that 6 minute, isn't it? It's about 6 minutes. We get to see a guy who really is grief stricken. And I think for anyone who's been in that situation, you know that you really want in that moment for the world to stop, just for a moment, just to acknowledge where you are. But what makes life go on, and what makes life bearable and gives us hope at the end, is usually children. And children are the thing that kind of make us continue to look forward. And I think it's that lovely moment that even though he is in this state, his Charlotte is still, she's sharing that grief, but she's still looking forward, and she is the one that presents him with hope and the fact that life continues on. And I think that it really captured that without overdoing it.
Yeah, without overdoing it. It's not too sentimental, because Connor's character loses his wife, and at least his mother in the movie. And you know, that is it's a Disney plot, you know. Every good heroine in Disney, you know, to make fulfilling Disney movie, a mother often dies. And so it's common, but that's why I also noticed how well this short was done, because it wasn't too sentimental. It just works really well. So who wrote it, Anna? Who wrote the script?
It was actually written by Paul Moon, but I had been brought on after the script was fully finished. But I think it was beautifully written. I think it was a very, very well written script. So, you know, I was very happy to get the opportunity to work on it.
Great. We have Connor's video went out.
Yes, he actually had dropped off the call, it seems.
Oh no.
Maybe we can get him back in. Maybe he'll come back in. Connor,
yeah, I'm hoping so. Let me have a see.
That's okay. So James, what other films have you worked on?
Yeah, so kind of this was one of my first kind of, I think, larger DOP roles. Before then, it's been a lot of assistant cameraman, and I've been cameraman on some you know, mid-sized projects and things like that. Worked a lot of music videos and things like that with another production company. But yeah, this was like very interesting, because I think it was, I mean, Anna would know better. This was like with the company of
Sticky Tape Productions.
Yeah,
we both worked for Sticky Tape Productions.
And who owns Sticky Tape? Is that someone else's? The other person who works with Sticky Tape is not here. Is it a small company?
No, yeah. So the three of us. So I'm the managing director of Sticky Tape Productions, and then Joshua Kraut runs the business operations area, and James is our technical operations manager. So we all sort of run the company, and James has he's been working on a variety of different projects and different roles and things like that. So he does cinematography. He also does editing. He's helped out in just an incredible amount of ways since we've had him on. So very, very lucky to have him in the company.
Great. Very nice. What a compliment. Yeah. What an exciting compliment. So have you submitted this film to other festivals?
Yeah, not as many yet as I would like. I like to really read about them and go through them and kind of see if our film is a fit. And I've submitted to a few, but we're actually screening one this Saturday.
Oh, good.
But other than that, you know, I want to really take some more time to read about the festivals before I submit, especially you know, as this is, you know, with a younger actor and everything else. I like to be a little more picky. I don't want to just submit everywhere and then who knows what happens to the film or where it's
very
shown.
good.
And
yeah,
I'm just, I think we have
Here
Connor
comes
back
Connor.
actually.
Connor's back.
Good. Connor, you're
Connor.
I'm
back.
sorry.
Okay.
I just everything froze.
Dramatic exit, dramatic entrance.
Sorry, switch machines.
Yes.
Yeah, it is good to be picky about. I can see where you submit your film, right? Because different festivals have different events and needs, and yours fits ours just fine because ours. I made ours a very family friendly festival. I haven't chosen. Our judges haven't chosen films that children couldn't go see.
Right. Yes. Exactly. You kind of have to know, where you're submitting, what you're doing, because it's, it not only can it be kind of a waste of your own time and your own finances and all of this, but especially if you have a younger actor, you want to be really careful with where your film is shown and where they're going to be shown. I think it's really important in that case.
Yeah, I do too. I'm so glad that you brought that up. It's a subject that more people need to talk about in the independent film business, right? I'd like to see more kids be in more films, but too often the scripts, like we were talking about earlier, it's not appropriate, And I'm certainly no prude, and I believe in a free right, and everybody should have their right to do whatever art they do. I'm a big believer in that. But my personal bent, it's just who I am. I'm not. I'd rather bring light to the world than bring too much negativity. It's more. It makes me happier that way. And then consequently, it makes other people happier too. I had people last year say that they were happy that our festival didn't have films that kids couldn't watch, because we showed it even during the pandemic last year. We were very careful and we masked up. But and
exactly like you said, even during the pandemic, it's so important to kind of have hope, because right now a lot of people don't, and it just seems like, especially for us, we've been in lockdown for about a year now. We had a very short kind of alleviated time, but it's really been just a year of lockdown. And I think there's a lot of people that are struggling and that are having a hard time, and I think that anything that can kind of bring people hope or whatever is definitely much more needed at this time, I'd say, than at any other time in the last little while. So
what is it like? Has the numbers gone down at all in Dublin lately? Right, across the world it has.
Yeah, it has. I think we were looking at, what was it, James, 300 some cases today?
Well, no, today it went back up again to 600.
Oh, did it go back up? Oh,
yeah. No. And then we had a grace period. The best way to apparently, the way Ireland is deciding to best measure it is apparently every 7 days. You take a 7-day average and you look if that's going down or up. But otherwise, we're much more tensely locked down and much more restrictive in our lockdown than a lot of countries.
I knew that. I witnessed that on television. Of course, we all get everyone's stations now in the world, which is wonderful. But what about travel? Are you locked down? Can you not travel at all? Fly?
5 kilometer limit unless you're an essential service or your job can justify it, basically. But a lot of people basically can't leave a 5 kilometer bubble. So yeah, you're here. This is it for the foreseeable future, with very little currently no planned exit other than hopes to alleviate the restrictions as numbers get better. So it's checking numbers every day.
Vaccinations. How about vaccinate? Are you guys getting any?
We have 2 current supplies, one of which is not delivering on time and not to the amount it's supposed to be delivering for various reasons, and another one, which is the Pfizer one, which we weren't intending to rely on as much as we're now relying on. So because the other one basically bottomed out, which I won't get into. But we're behind. We're behind on vaccinations, but we're good for our population size. We're doing okay, but we should be doing a lot better. Yeah.
Well, Godspeed to everyone, right? It's the one. What's that? I got a little pop-up window came up.
Yeah.
What was that? Did you see that? Pop-up window? Got a gift from Zoom. Really? I got a gift from Zoom. Hi, Zoom. Thank you. It's an interesting thing how, the goodness that came out of the pandemic is this. We now can talk to each other. Speaking of Zoom, we learned how to communicate across the world with people, which, there's always a silver lining, and that's our silver lining. And, particularly with film, we've had a lot of time to be creative and to do, editors. We've had time to sit and be tedious about editing, and so this too shall pass, and we will have learned much. I think we will have learned much about ourselves and other people.
I agree, definitely.
I think so. And so we're such privileged people, we're so spoiled in so many ways, right? And it's crazy how spoiled, and we all got sat down. The entire world got sat down. So I, for one, am just super grateful to people that work on the front lines, and it's crazy.
Yeah.
So I think that your production company has a great future. Keep up the amazing work. Elise, keep your acting skills. Go. I'm going to challenge you, Elise. Go learn an amazingly difficult piece for the theater.
Okay.
Memorize it. And then I want to see you do it. We'll do a Zoom call, and then we'll see what you do. Pick an interesting character, It's great for acting chops, to keep it going. And who knows where it will take you. Connor, you too.
Thank you.
Yes, you too. A one-man show is up your
More
alley.
practice, Connor.
I think a one-man show would be up your alley. There's lots of good, interesting one-man shows. Not as many one-woman shows, but there's a lot.
Yeah, and I think Connor can carry it too.
Yeah, I think so.
Thing about him, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
But it's funny you should say that, because I was just watching. During the lockdown, of course, we all got to watch a lot of theatre, because a lot of stuff was made accessible online. And I saw Andrew Scott do it's a half-hour monologue called The Sea Wall.
Beautiful.
It's incredible.
I'll have to watch that. I haven't seen it.
Simon Stevens wrote it, but it's just an amazingly beautifully performed piece, and it's worth looking at. So if you just look up The Sea Wall, Andrew Scott, you can actually buy it online, because he did it. He did it in theatre, obviously, initially, but it's available. They did a TV production of it, so it's available online now. But yeah,
I love. So he just powerful. Was it like a half an hour? Did you say?
Half an hour. Yeah. Powerful piece. I mean, the idea of trying to do something that Andrew Scott's kind of made his own is probably a little bit ambitious, but it's just the writing in it is just exquisite. It's just brilliant.
Well, different. As an actor, you bring a different thing to it, so there's no competition. It's just different, right? Yeah. And so if it speaks to you, if something truly speaks to you, there's a reason it speaks to you. That's it.
But
that is true. That is very true.
Right.
But the next thing we have planned for theatre, if the theatres are open, and hopefully in November it'll happen, we're doing 2 short Neil LaBute plays. So Neil LaBute, obviously one of the finest American playwrights of his generation.
Yeah.
So we're doing two really kind of punchy Neil LaBute short plays, one-act plays.
Oh, fun! So I can't wait. Where are you going to do that?
We're going to do it in Smock Alley in Dublin.
Smock Alley?
It's a great little theater. I like that one. It's very it's kind of intimate, very interesting theater. Yeah, have you been? Actually,
I've been to Dublin. I was in Dublin. In fact, I wear a ring every day. That's from Dublin. Here, my little colada with a diamond in its ring.
Yeah.
I was there 2 years ago in December, and I had the great privilege to go to the Abbey Theater, and a really dear friend of mine was the lighting designer. It was magical. It was from Come From Away, the musical.
Okay.
Have you seen it? I mean, it won tons of Tonys, and I saw it at the Abbey. And Howell Binkley was a very, very dear friend of mine who we lost last summer, which is terrible. But he was the designer there, and he was in Dublin at the time, and Come From Away, and the producers were there, and I just had the best time of my life in Dublin.
It's a great city.
Yeah, I felt like I fit in.
Yeah.
People would start talking to me, like someone asked me directions. I was like, oh, I feel so happy that I'm here. They don't know I'm an American until I speak, right? So, but I just loved it. I saw the most amazing.
A comedian friend of mine years ago said that Irish people aren't actually friendly; they're just really nosy.
That is so funny and hilarious.
That is true too. I see the memes,
just
with the
why are
the
you
grannies.
Here?
Why are you here? Yeah.
Tell me your story.
It's true. It's very true. But it is true. The people, I certainly experienced, you're just lovely. very friendly, open people. And
there's a big difference between the US and Ireland, I think, because so I grew up in California actually, and I've been here the past 5 years, but I noticed a really big difference because over there you're never going to see the same person twice, not really. You're very lucky if you do. And people just kind of, you're just a stranger, so they don't treat you the same. Here you're likely to meet somebody and either see them again or meet somebody that they know and then somehow see them again, or so it's like this little interconnected kind of family community is what it feels like. And so I think people are just a lot nicer to one another because of that.
Isn't that says something about human nature, right? I totally agree with you, Anna. I mean, it really does. I mean, I lived in New York City for a very long time. Right. I mean, and I've been going there for 20 years, but proper for really 11 years. And now I live in a tiny little town in Iowa, right on the border, and everybody knows each other, and it's true. And you really can't afford to be rude to someone because we do know everybody, which thank God, which is one of the reasons I love small town living,
Yes.
But I must say about New Yorkers, I think New Yorkers get a bad rap because some of the nicest, most warm people I know are New Yorkers. They're just busy. They don't have time.
Yeah, that is true.
But I saw
definitely true.
They just don't have time. And I saw so many acts of kindness from New Yorkers. Unbelievable acts of kindness.
James has been wanting to go to New York for a very long time. He's told me.
You'll love New York. New York is fabulous.
Yes.
I lived there during 9/11. I've been saved by a couple of New Yorkers, like complete strangers who asked nothing of me. I mean, so there really is a culture in New York. Everybody's a stranger there, so they take care of people more.
Yeah.
It's an interesting.
There's quite I had a friend who lived in New York. He owned a bar there on the Upper East Side for quite a few years. And
I probably was in one of those bars.
You probably were. Yeah, it was called the Gap. It was on it was on about 82nd Street.
I lived on the Upper East Side for.
But the Upper East Side is a real neighborhood sort of feel about it.
Very neighborhood.
Yeah. And people kind of knew each other, and I was surprised. My first experience of New York was the Upper East Side.
Oh yeah.
And I just thought it was an amazing place.
It is an amazingly friendly actually place. I'll always be part New Yorker. I'm half country girl and half city girl. I'll always be that. So, but here I am.
My grandfather was born in New York, so I did the other way. Instead of emigrating from Ireland to America, my grandfather was his father was a cab driver, a horse-drawn cab driver in New York in the late 1800s, and my grandfather was born there. And then his parents, rather, there would have been I think it was a TB outbreak or something like that in the early part of the 20th century.
Yeah.
So he lost his parents and he was sent back to Ireland. So he made his way back. Yeah. So
interesting.
So I've got a bit of New York in me too.
Yeah, you do. Interesting. Well, we're all connected in so many ways.
Gotta have to work on the accent.
You have to work. No, listen. You talk like this. It's perfect. Go to Brooklyn and hang out for a couple of days. You're fine. No worries.
You got it.
You got it. You're right. I did a one-woman show in New York, and I played an Irish character, an old elderly Irish lady, and it's one of my favorite roles I ever played, Marcella. Marcella wore just like this, yes. And I did it in a cabaret in the West Village in New York. And I think I'm going to have to revive that. You guys are inspiring me with the Irish thing going on. We're doing an Irish.
I didn't know. So you act as well then?
Yeah. And
Same for me. I also act.
Right.
Yeah.
I figured. We all do. You're not in this business your whole life if you don't do all of it, really.
Exactly. You have to sort of do everything, don't you?
Yes, you really have to do. I direct, I produce, I write, I act, I dance, I choreograph, I do all that. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're doing
very similar to myself.
St. Patrick's Day parade in Waukon. It's one of the biggest in Iowa. It's a huge parade. It's like we're doing the Spring Grove International Film Festival float. My 100% Irish father's driving it. And we're doing green. Everything's green balloons, and then our big Step and Repeat Spring Grove International Film Festival banner is going on. So we'll be thinking of you when we're on the float.
I'm glad someone's getting a Paddy's Day.
Yeah.
I think ours have all been shut down.
I think ours are going to be cut, so it's great that. Sounds really good.
Well, we've done really good locally with the pandemic to keep the numbers down. They were pretty high, but now there's no cases in our school, no cases in our hospital. Good. Yeah, well, lockdown for a long time. Good. We shut down on St. Patrick's Day last year. Iowa, everything just shut down. That's when it stopped.
It was around when everything stopped for us too. Yeah.
But hopefully next year we'll be talking, and you'll have another film, and we won't be locked down. And I can't wait to come to Dublin. I gotta tell you, it's the first.
We should. Trip. Maybe we'll get a lunch or something. All of us.
If for sure. Absolutely. I will let you know. After we make the final decisions for the winners of the Spring Grove International Film Festival, who knows? We'll have to plan on. It's July 23rd, 24th, and 25th is our festival of this year. So
great to have it in the summer too.
Yeah. It's really beautiful in Spring Grove and the surrounding area. It's gorgeous. It's by the Mississippi, not far, and it's very hilly, and it's a gorgeous
sounds
place.
Lovely. I wish we could visit.
You will have to come visit. And yes, you can fly into Minneapolis now straight. And Minneapolis is it's less than 3 hours to Spring Grove. It's not that bad of a flight. Well, I could talk to you all day. Elise, do you have any questions about what a film festival is or anything like that?
I pretty much know what it is because I've heard about them before. So
yeah, you're a pretty sharp cookie. When is your birthday?
It's the 14th of January.
Well, no wonder, darling.
Happy birthday, Elise.
You're a little Capricorn, just like me. I'm a Capricorn, January 10th.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, right. We're born in the same week.
Yeah, all the Capricorns I know are the best.
Yeah, well, we'll tell you for sure we are. It's true. Well, do you know something about a Capricorn, which is true? Capricorns start out in their lives, usually you're very mature as children, and then you get less mature as you get older. So you and I are about the same age right now.
No, my dog is a little crazy here now.
Doggy. What's your dog's name, Anna?
Zuzha.
Oh, very sweet.
She's 13 years old. She just turned 13 on the 26th of February.
Aww.
But I've had her since she was 3 months, so she's my baby.
She is your baby. Aw, that's so sweet. Yeah. Well, we named the awards called the Lacey Awards for the festival after my dog named Lacey.
Well, there you go. That's
I have a corgi.
I would do.
Yeah, exactly. She's a corgi. She's an English corgi. She has an English accent in my mind. So, you guys are charming, wonderful people. Be in touch. Let me know.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. Thank you again for having us. It was really, really lovely to chat with you, and really looking forward to the festival.
I will send you a link, and you could publish this wherever you want. And good luck in promoting your films, and we'll talk. I will. Yes. I'll be in touch.
Thank you very much. It was so good to see everybody else. So good to see you, Elise and Connor.
Yeah, good to see you.
Right,
good to see you, James.
Good to see you guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.